Hi, I'm Trish from Speedwell. In this clip we see how an observer can enter and observe an OSCE station. The observer navigates to the Speedwell eSystem delivery sign-in screen and uses their unique username and password to sign in. On the banner at the top they can see the sign-in details at the right. There are 3 events available to observe. They are all timed and dated, and the examiner can check those details here. Then back to the exams. The observer enters the exam event. The timer at the top left counts down to the start time, then counts down through any allocated reading time. Then it will count down throughout the remaining station time as the candidate is being marked by the examiner. To the top right is the exam and station detail. At the bottom left, the observer can select which station they want to observe. The observer can see and enter all stations in the OSCE. In this OSCE there are 2 stations and the examiner has chosen to observe station 1. When an observer enters a station, the candidate, examiner or simulated patient will see an icon appearing at the banner at the bottom like this. It will disappear when the observer leaves the station. On the right of the main screen, the webcams will load once the simulated patient and examiner have joined. Meanwhile, the observer can read the examiner instructions, which is this E button at the bottom. They could also switch to the candidate instructions using the C button, or the simulated patient instructions like this, or choose to clear instructions from the screen using None. There's no option for the observer to see the mark screen. If the observer wants to leave the event, not just switch stations, they use the Leave button. Over on the right-hand side, the observer can use Help to start a chat where they can send and receive messages from the exams administrator if they need assistance. All Remote OSCE users can use the Settings button on the right to select alternative microphone or camera if they have options to choose from. As the examiner and simulated patient join, this observer loads the examiner instructions again. The simulated patient webcam is at the top on the right-hand side, the examiner is at the bottom, whilst the timer is counting down to the start of the exam, and also, now that the exam has started, through the candidate reading time. Once the reading time's finished, the candidate joins automatically, and their webcam shows in a larger panel at the top, with a simulated patient and the examiner at the bottom. Everyone can see that the observer icon is on, indicating that they're being observed, but the observer cannot be seen or heard by anyone else in the station. The OSCE is underway and the examiner is marking the candidate. At any time, the observer can switch stations like this, or can leave the exam event like this. When the station finishes, the candidate's moved on to the next station, and the simulated patient and examiner webcams reposition until the next candidate joins.